This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction to every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. I'll be with you for every single one of those games. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Johnny10. Shields continue to be super active over there as one. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this one for you. Super tough loss for the Rays. One where the Rays got on front early, then lost the lead, got the lead back, then got down huge, came all the way back, and then just incredibly unlucky in the top of the 10th and just incredibly more unlucky in the bottom of the 10th. Just great defensive plays by the Marlins to close out the Rays. But in this one, we're going to break down how the bottom of the lineup shows out. We're going to talk about how, I guess, really just two of the pitchers struggled, and we'll really get into that. We're also going to talk about, should we be worried about Taj? I'm going to tell you guys why the Rays 100% need to sweep tomorrow. But first, we're going to talk about that 10th inning.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So the Marlins made a theme of it, some during their huge 5th inning, of getting a few hits, not just bloop hits, kind of flare hits, which happened. It's baseball, but the one in the 10th was kind of like especially sickening. It's just that would have barely got on the bat, and it was just helpless, harmlessly. You saw Brandon Lowe just look at it, nothing he can do, just hit literally in the perfect spot. You couldn't go out there and place it any better. And then in the bottom of the 10th, the Rays rocket 2 ground balls, and then Cabrera just makes 2 great plays on both of them. There's literally nothing else. If you're a Rays fan, if you're cabbing that spot, you're trying to get the ball in play, and you're trying to hit it hard. He hit it hard, put it in play. Guy made a great play, and the catcher was positioned perfectly and made a perfect tag. It was textbook by the Marlins defense. They let their defense go to work, and the Rays have done that for so long. And it's tough to be mad at the pitching staff because this was the first time since May 18th that they've given up more than 4 runs in a game. That's what I should have counted the game. I think it was 17 games between now and then. I mean, the Rays pitching staff has been on a heroic run recently. But of course, it's also one of the days where the Rays offense really wakes up. And in a day where you got Morel getting 2 home runs and Walls getting a home run, it's tough to not come away with a win in that game. But I'm choosing to be optimistic, even though obviously Evan Longoria was there. The Rays lost when he threw out the first pitch at the Trop, I believe, last year, and they lose on his day retiring as a Ray. But it was a tough game in the sense that this is one the Rays probably should have had, and I would say it's tough as well. But the Rays have been so good recently. But the Blue Jays are really starting to pick it up. They've won 9 of 10, and now if you're the Rays, tomorrow's a must-win. You cannot lose 2 series to the Marlins. You have Drew Rasmussen going tomorrow. There is zero reason why the Rays should lose tomorrow. But let's talk about the bottom of the lineup, because the bottom of the lineup was ridiculous. The bottom of the lineup of Christopher Morel, Taylor Walls, and Danny Jansen combined for 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. Christopher Morel, 3 for 3. No idea why Kevin Cash pinch hit for him. Josh Lowe is struggling right now. He's like 1 for his last 17. No idea why Kevin Cash pulls him right there. I get the matchups. I also get playing the high hand. I mean, your guy's 3 for 3 with 2 dingers. Like, he's the reason why you're in the game. No reason why he should be in the game. No reason why Mason Montgomery should be in the game in the 5th inning. And if you want to call that a high leverage spot, like I get a lefties coming in, your best reliever this year outside of Pete Fairbanks and maybe Manny Rodriguez has been Orzi. And he comes in, and nothing's meaningless because the Rays were able to come back. But when it's a 4-run Marlin lead, I don't get why the Rays aren't using him in more high leverage situations. They're just throwing him out there whenever it's a blowout or whenever they feel it. He's in their B bullpen right now when he's an A bullpen kind of guy. And then we'll get into Taj a little bit later, but those were the 2 moves that really did not make sense to me. Like, I get the matchup, I get it, but at some point you got to screw the analytics and play the high hand. And Christopher Morel, 3 for 3, and a guy I said when he got on base for the Rays to tied in the walk-off to the Rangers, he had a better at bat. You can see he's seen the ball better. And now you take the bat out of his hands when he has 3 hits. Just strongly disagree with that. Even I would disagree with it no matter who was pinching for him. And Josh Lowe has been one of the Rays' best hitters during this whole streak. But baseball has a funny way of evening out. Like, the Rays probably should have lost to the Rangers the other day when they had a crazy walk-off. They probably should have. The breaks just really didn't go their way today. And that's just how baseball is. You have a chance. You have a chance to go 5-1 on a homestand tomorrow. It's as simple as that. If you had told anyone before this homestand you go 5 and run, you immediately take that. And the Rays have a chance to do that tomorrow with their best pitcher who's someone who's been their best pitcher on the mound all year. But again, we talked about Mason Montgomery. I don't know what his deal is, and that's where we'll get to our turning point of this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's the top of the 5th inning, and every single time the Rays score in the beginning of the game, they put up 4. The Marlins immediately answered 4. They put up 2 after the Danny Jansen home run. The Marlins' answer was 6. I talk about so much how important a shutdown ending is after scoring. It just builds the momentum even more. The Rays didn't do that early, and it cost them. Now let's get to that 5th inning because Taj just didn't have it. And yes, some of it was bloop singles. Some of it was these not as hard hit balls. But, Taj just didn't have his best stuff today. It happens. But his inconsistencies really been starting to show recently. And, his last start against Houston, he goes 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. And today he can't get an out in the 5th. And, it was the kind of dominant stuff when the Marlins, don't even they score, I think it was 5 of their runs, either 4 or 5 of the runs without even recording it out. And then Mason Montgomery comes in, and that's when the contact starts to pick up a little bit. And then you get Christopher Morel. The one mistake he did make, I didn't think he took a good route to that ball when he dove for it. And then the one soft contact that Montgomery gets after a few strikeouts, the Rays can't come up with. And the Marlins did what the Rays do just a little bit better today. They were a little bit crisper on defense. Their pitching was just a little bit better in those big spots. And that's why they won the game. It's as simple as that. But, for Montgomery, when he doesn't have one of his pitches working, I mean, hitters just key in on the other pitch. And most time, hitters just key in on the fastball. And that's what and that's what it's been recently. Hitters have been keying in on that fastball. And in that dominant outing he had his last time out before this, he was really able to work in the slider. And I expected him to not have – let me go look what his ERA is now. His ERA is up to almost 6. I didn't expect him to be anywhere near a 6 ERA. His stuff is too good for him to have that kind of ERA, in my opinion. So that's where the turning point is because it's just really tough for the Rays to overcome that. And in a spot where Kevin Cash keeps putting him in pretty big spots. Like, this is a pretty big spot. And I know a lefty came up, but, man, like, in those big moments – I get the matchups, but I'm a believer in putting in your best pitcher. And Eric Orsi has been out of the guys that ended up being available in that spot. Like, I'll take Orsi over Montgomery, but I guess I get why he did it. It was left on left, yes, but it just hurts even more now because Montgomery. Let's take a look at his game log. Like, he was really good his last time out, but just like Taj and these other young pitchers, like, it's the inconsistency. So his last 4 outings, he hasn't given up a run, but a few of those was tough. Like against the Twins, he gave up 2 hits. It took him a little bit to get out of that. But he was dominant midway through the year. He had the stretch where from May 4th to May 13th, he didn't give up a run in 7, it looks like, outings. But when he does give up runs, they come in waves. And then when he does, it's kind of like Shane Boswell. When they do give up hits, it comes in waves. When they do give up runs, it comes in waves. And that was the case today for Montgomery. And it was tough. But, I hope that the Rays can put him in a position where he can bounce back. And, his slider has been – we talk about, Taj Bradley being inconsistent. We talk about Mason Montgomery being inconsistent. For the most part, his fastball has been there. His slider has been his inconsistent pitch. And when it was bad for 80% of the times he threw it today, it makes it really hard to, get past Major League pitching with the amount of talent these guys have when they just key in on fastballs. But we're going to talk about should we be worried about Taj Bradley and why the Rays 100% need to win the series tomorrow, right after this. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game. Before tip-off and live, with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Now, I normally talk to you guys about the player props, but if you just want to do a straight bet, the finals are tomorrow. If you think OKC is going to cover the spread, you can just immediately just bet on that. But there's other cool prop bets you can do. If you think Tyrese Halliburton is going to have more than 25 points, you can bet that as well. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up because if you head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet, if it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Make sure if you guys are in the live to leave a like and comment. I will get in the comments like I always do at the end of the video. But Should we be worried about Taj Bradley? It's $1 million question we come out of this thinking, because he had probably one of his best outings of the year last time out, and then it's just an inconsistency. Last time against the Marlins, he got hit too, four innings, 5 earned, and then he was really good for 3 outings. This kind of thing. It's like every kind of third outing, every kind of fourth outing has been really bad. And whether it was 6 to the Yankees, 4 to the Rangers, 5 to the Marlins, and this time I think he was ended up being charged for 7 after Montgomery let a few runs in, and it hurts a little bit more because you hit a lefty. You hit one of the better lefties the Marlins have. The Rays have hit the Marlins' 2 best pitchers very well, and only coming out of that 1-1 is tough because of how inconsistent the pitching was today. Like, should we be worried about Taj? I lean no, because his good has been better than his bad, if that makes sense. So he started X amount of games this year. 4 of his outings have been subpar. Like, that's going to happen from a pitcher. Is he what I kind of expected this year? No, because he's been really inconsistent. Like, I'm surprised he got out of the first inning without giving up a run today. But, is it time to hit the panic button on Taj Bradley? No. I think there's 1 or 2 starters in the Rays rotation right now that you should worry about a little bit more than Taj Bradley. But, it's definitely concerning. I won't say it's time to panic, but it's definitely concerning to see what's going on with Taj right now. But let's look ahead right now into the game tomorrow. I'll tell you why the Rays need to win tomorrow. So tomorrow, like early game, noon game tomorrow, is the Marlins are undecided. If anyone knows who the Marlins are throwing tomorrow, I heard some rumors it may be Sandy. Let me know. But regardless, Drew Rasmussen is going for the Marlins. He has a chance to set the franchise record for scoreless streaks. I believe he just needs to get into the 3rd inning. He'll do it, or maybe 2 outs in the 2nd. He'll do it. So tomorrow's a game that there's no chance that the Rays should lose. It's as simple as that. The Rays need to win tomorrow. Finish this homestand 5-1. Finish on a strong note, and then get on a plane and go to Boston and go and then go 4-2 on a road trip next week. That should be the only mindset. You flush this one. It was a crazy game. Very rarely do you get a game like this in the year, and things probably balance out a little bit. Like, the Rays probably should be 4-1 to this point on this homestand. None of that matters. Flush it. Go get a win tomorrow. Finish 5-1. Go to Boston. Go take 2 out of 3 there. Go take 2 out of 3 from the Mets. Come back home and go on from there. But now let's get to the comments, as we always do. Make sure if you guys are in here, make sure to leave a comment. And this is the most important thing from Gary. It says, first and foremost, today was a celebration to honor the greatest of all Tampa Bay Rays players, the face of the franchise, Rays Hall of Famer, Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria is a huge part of my childhood. The season tickets I had from the Rays, Evan Longoria would come kind of right in that area and throw his warm-up balls every day. He would throw every game. He would throw his, long toss right there. So, Evan Longoria is a huge part of my life. He's part of why I'm a huge Rays fan. So I 100% agree with that, and it makes it kind of more sickening that the Rays couldn't get this one out. As with Michael Tonley, he says, can't win for Longoria. Cash made some very odd decisions today. Why left Morel? He showed life of the play for Josh Lowe, strikes out twice. Just based on history, I mean, Josh Lowe has been probably the Rays' 3rd best hitter in the stretch, and being the Rays' 3rd best hitter during the stretch is being the Rays' best hitter at a lot of other stretches this year. So, I get it from the analytical perspective, but man, like, you got to let your guy go there for 3. Gotta get it done. So we go back to Gary. Very bizarre game for the Rays. They got off to a lead, but one of those rare occasions when the pitching did not hold up its end of the bargain. Great production, especially from Morel, Walls, and Jansen. Yeah, the bottom lineup was legit, man. Taylor Walls, 3 straight games with 2 hits. That's legit stuff from Taylor Walls. And again, Taylor Walls doesn't need to hit 260, right? Taylor Walls, if he can hit like 220, will be just like an incredible player. Not incredible, but that's a huge stretch. But he's back up to 210. If Taylor Walls can hit 220, he's going to be in the major leagues for a very, very long time. As Gary also talks about, stay shock after this one, not really Rays baseball to have an 11-10 game, whether they win or lose. Yeah, 100%. And it was kind of a weird game the whole time. As it also does say that it's Rasmussen versus Alcantara tomorrow. The ESPN didn't update it. It still says undecided. But yeah, we talked about the Rays and the success that they had against Sandy last time. Sandy, I hope, doesn't figure it out tomorrow. And because, when he gets right, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But Sandy's ERA is still at a 7.8. I mean, he's really struggled with runners in scoring position. He had an 8.6 ERA in May. He gave up 2 earned against the Rockies in 6 innings his last time out. So again, the Rays have a starting pitching advantage. The Rays have the talent advantage. Like, there's 0% chance, not 0% chance, 0 reason why the Rays should lose a baseball game tomorrow. But you got to go out and do a job. But it's frustrating in the sense that, yes, the Marlins had some weak hits, but when the time came, the Marlins made the big pitches, and the one that made me kind of sick is, Junior ropes the ball at the bottom of the ninth inning. I mean, the ball came off his bat. I'm going to look it up while I keep talking. The ball came off his bat. I thought it was like, we're going to have second and third. We're going to have a chance to have a chance to win this game. And then when it didn't, you're like, oh. And then when it gets to, it was just 93 off the bat. But it had an expected batting average of 570. And the two balls that the Rays hit, Jake Mangum, 100 off the bat, expected batting average 440. Jose Caballero, 98 off the bat, expected batting average 300. Roberto Hernandez, the guy that hit the one for the Marlins, 74 off the bat. That's baseball sometimes. It is what it is. He hit it in the perfect spot. But again, the mindset should be go win the game tomorrow, 5-1 on the homestand, go on this road trip and start stacking more wins. I said it doesn't matter about the win streaks. It matters of, can the Rays win 16 games or 16 wins in 20 games? Can they win 24? Start extend those longer streaks, which they did. Coming into this game, they were either 13 of 16 or 14 of 17, and that's what they needed to do. Now, are they going to lose 2 in a row for the first time since they played the Marlins and Astros back-to-back back in mid to late May? That's the $1 million question. If they don't, like I said, if this is another blip, and like I said, I give the pitching some leeway because it's like they've been so good for so long. It's hard to hold them to this impossible expectation forever. Like, you're going to have games like this. But like we talked about, can they recover and go win a series tomorrow? That's the $1 million question. As we see, Colin McCormick, another new commenter, says, let's go. Yeah, that's the mentality we should all have. We should have the mentality of flushing this one and getting right back to it tomorrow. So I appreciate everyone joining the live. We'll be right back tomorrow. Once again, early game, another afternoon one, but noon Eastern, game at 12:10 tomorrow. Drew Rasmussen versus Sandy. Rays are going for the series win and a chance to go 5-1 on the homestand. So again, if you guys made it all the way to end, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon.